It is a textbook hot and swampy day here at Stafford as our biggest Fender division, the Limited Late Models, prepares for their biggest race, the Lumax Package Store and WTD Logistics 30. We can't ignore the drama in the other four weekly divisions though. Matt Spalding and I will do our best job to cover it all, starting with you, Matt.
Longtime Stafford Motor Speedway fans will be familiar with the number 58 SK Modified, most frequently driven by Eric Goodale. This year, it's being driven by Riley O'Keefe. A frequent legend standout at Riverhead Raceway, O'Keefe is making the transition to SK Modifieds this year. What's went into this entire program?
A lot of hard work, a lot of good guys around me, and a lot of dedication, to be honest, because it's hard coming from Long Island to come race here on Friday nights, Got to take off from work, got to drive 3.5, 4 hours, take the boat, and then you're not getting home till 3 o'clock in the morning at least, so a lot of hard work.
You came into the Casella 80 last week. You had to start last in the race due to some problems in your heat. You've charged all the way up into the top 10. Just take me through that experience and what that was like in the long distance race.
Yeah, we blew a transmission in the heat race, had to come from dead last on the grid, 30th? And luckily we got good guys around me, so they got the training change. We ended up borrowing one from Alexander Pearl's family, which a huge thank you to them, because without them we wouldn't have raced. And 80 laps, we just raced smart, took it easy, and car lasted. It did not fall off on that run, so we were pretty consistent, and that's all that matters. We stayed out of the wrecks, passed a few cars, learned a lot, and had a good night.
Given the drive up from Long Island, you're still racing at Riverhead this season, and all of the success that you're having here early on in the season. What are your plans going forward here at the Speedway? What do you expect to do throughout the year, and maybe even going forward after that?
We just take it week by week. We have a decent run, so we're like, let's go again next week. Who's to say what happens next week? Time will tell, but it is a lot racing between here and then racing again tomorrow at Riverhead, and sometimes triple header weekend we go to Sunday in Evergreen Raceway in Pennsylvania.
Riley O'Keefe looks to continue a strong rookie season in the SK Modifieds. Let's throw it back to Rob with a limited late model driver in their biggest event of the season.
Matt, I'm here with limited late model driver Aaron Plemons, who's been one of the fastest cars all season long, but had some trouble these past few weeks. Can you talk about the frustration of these early wrecks and the way it seems like these races seem to open up?
Yeah, the lap one, everybody fights for the bottom, and that causes big stack-ups. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, and it's very frustrating. And sometimes, like you said, when we have one of the fastest cars, that can really set the mood for the rest of the year and try to avoid that stuff.
Looking at just raw lap time, you guys have one of the fastest cars, and you're one of the fiercest drivers in this field. Does it kind of feel, against your nature to try to hold back on those opening laps?
Yeah, it is really hard, especially all these fat like Haidar and all them, we all start together. So it's like whoever beats each other to the front, there's like 7 cars that can win. So you try to hold back, but at the same time, you really want to go.
10 extra laps tonight, 50% longer feature. It feels like we really only see this 67 driving forward, with the exception of some contact. Do you feel like those extra 10 are going to benefit you guys tonight?
Yeah, I think we have a good long run car every week. Our lap times hold up at the end of the feature. We start out at 22.4, we'll end at 22.4. So this car is really good long run and always has been, and I'm looking forward to it.
Do you worry about points yet? You talk to a lot of guys. Some of them are thinking you got to play the points game all year long. Some guys say just go out and do my best. Whatever happens, happens. Which camp do you feel like you're in, especially in a division that gets as chaotic as this one does?
I'm not gonna lie, I always peak. You always gotta look to see where you are, but I love to win. So no matter from 1st or 7th, I'm going for the win every time.
Good luck out there, Aaron.
Thank you.
Now to the other side of the pits, Matt's with a late model driver and a former champion who's climbing his way back up through the standings.
Late model driver Adam Gray has had a solid opening month to the season, sitting 3rd in points right now. But Adam, your team was just talking about last couple weeks haven't been so good. What do you have to do in the month of June to get back in the groove that you want to, get back in victory lane?
I'd like to do what we did a couple years ago and went all forward in June. It just track's hot and slick, and we just gotta get what we need. Last week the car wasn't terrible. The not having a heat race kind of messed with us, because we usually scuff in the new tires in the heat race, and we had the new tire for the feature, and they just didn't do what we wanted them to do. But no, I think we're pretty solid, and I think we'll be good.
It's very hot today at the Speedway, as everybody's just sweating, just unloading their race cars. So what are you going to have to do? The late models have an early feature. What are you going to have to do to manage everything that goes along with that hot day?
Track will be hot and slick in the sun. It's something that we'll have to make a few little adjustments for. Practice today will actually really mimic our feature time. So we're going to concentrate on that, and I think we should be good.
Adam Gray looks to get back in victory lane in the late models. Let's throw it back to Rob with Cassandra Cole.
Matt, I'm here with Cassandra Cole, driver of the 09 SK Light. Cassandra, I'm in charge of putting the points up on Facebook every week, and I haven't seen that 09 really leave the top 10 all season so far. Plain and simple, do you think it's your best season yet?
I would have to say so. I've been wanting to get into a Troyer for a couple years now, just to try it, because everyone's been telling me how awesome they are to drive. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to race with Keith Rocco Racing, and it's a great team. They're just very knowledgeable, helpful. I learn a lot every week. I know I've been in this division for a while, but when you're up front, it's a different story. There's just so much more to learn with your racecraft, and just a lot more to learn, I guess.
Speaking about the week, what does, leading up to getting to the track look like this year as opposed to you guys prepping the car yourselves? How is it different now with the Keith Rocco partnership?
Yeah, I was renting a car before, but every week I go to the shop and we go over video footage, GoPro footage, what I could do better, stuff like that.
Now, in terms of this division, right, there's a lot of attrition, there's still a lot of chaos. No matter how good you feel like the car is or the speed you have in it, a lot of it is out of your control. Do you feel comfortable with this car yet at this point of the year, or there's still a few more quirks you feel like you maybe need to work through here as we get into the summer months?
Yeah, I would have to say I'm really confident in the car. It is kind of a mess some weeks, as I'm sure you guys have seen. But no, I'm very comfortable with the car and confident, and that's one big thing that I've gained this year is confidence with this car.
Do you feel a little bit of pressure stepping into a car that's this good? We've seen a lot of the KRR guys go on to do great stuff, and even the SK mods. Is there a little bit of pressure now getting into a car that's known to be so quick?
There definitely is pressure. I've kind of set my own expectations a lot higher with that being said, so hopefully we can get a win soon. I still am looking for one of those. Well,
good luck out there. Maybe you can come tonight here, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Now, not too far down the pits in this direction, Matt is with Brent Gleason, who's having a great year himself in the street stocks.
Tied for third in street stock points. Brent, how would you evaluate your season so far?
Up and down is the best way I can put it. We struggled a lot with tight conditions and trying to figure out what the car wanted after we straightened it back out. And got to thank MLZ Fabrication and Zach Robinson for that. And we've been getting a lot closer. We've been trying to iron that stuff out, and we're finally starting to make progress on that. And we just need luck to go our way too. We've had a few races where we were really in contention and something happened and we didn't finish well. Or we had a win slip out of our hands. You know what I mean? So if the luck would just go our way, I think we could actually make a little bit more progress. But honestly, this season, it's a lot better than we were last year. We were already at 3 podiums. Last year we had 3 podiums total. We just kind of need that win to get the breakthrough that we really need.
So what do you need to do to get that win? You're an experienced racer. You've been around the block a few times. How can you use all that experience and all the skill that you have both behind the wheel and working on the car to get that thing in victory lane?
Geez, it's going to come down to driver comfort at this point because of all the parts that we found that were bad that we used last year and essentially adjusted around to try to make the car work, and we kind of band-aided it into a point where it would work. But now that the car is straight and everything's straight in it, I have to relearn how to drive and how to drive the car the way it sits. So basically just getting comfortable back in it right now. It's almost like starting from new, and I think we're starting to finally get there. So.
Speaking of driver comfort, the heat is going to be a big topic tonight at the Speedway. How do you manage that from behind the wheel, and what do you have to do to the setup of this thing to manage potentially temps in the 80s or 90s?
Don't beat it up too bad, but just kind of hope for the best, I guess. Hydrate a lot. I have a job where I'm out in the heat with no air conditioning all the time, so I'm pretty well conditioned to it, but that doesn't mean it won't affect you. It's still hot. You're going to have the fan on. The fan cooks your feet. The exhaust cooks your feet. I'm going to have my heat boot on tonight, and we're going to try to just kind of survive tonight. So that's kind of the plan.
Brent Gleason looks to survive the heat and end up in victory lane. It's the biggest night of the year for the limited late models. The Lumax Package Store WT Logistics Limited Late Model 30. Let's send it up to Ben Dodge and Bonsa Tufa in the booth for all the action.
Well, as we look out at Broadcast Central, it's a picture-perfect night. Hot and steamy, just like the action will be backstage in the paddock area as every team is working to discover the setup. Tonight, Bonza, the racetrack is different than it has been for any Friday night event this season. It is hotter. It is stickier. You heard drivers talk about it slick. It is going to be a new challenge within itself.
Well, you know what makes it even more difficult, Ben? It's going to be hot and slick now, but when the sun sets, the track is going to be completely different.
Yep.
So you have to stay ahead of the track. Just because your car is really good in the heat race doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to translate to the features. Everybody's going to have to adapt and figure out what the tendencies of the track will be as it gets cooler. But right now, we're in the upper 80s, low 90s. It feels like almost 100 degrees. So everybody here at the track, please hydrate as much as you can. Like Brent said earlier, it's a tough one today.
It sure is.
You know what makes it even tougher, Ben? Up to this point, we've been nonstop. We've been racing every week since opening Friday night. There has not been a break for these teams up until now. There will be an off week next week for Formula Drift, but it has been a grind. And as we go into the summertime, that grind really tests the teams, the drivers alike, how they can handle the heat, not just from the weather, but from the action, the frustrations, all the challenges that this sport gives you.
Certainly does, and you were so correct about that because no one has given anyone any extra ground this season, it seems like. We've seen competitors, they will win one week, the following week they struggle. They can't get back to the front of the field. So it's already been something different, and the magic of who, what, where, and why is going to become the champions in 2026 is a whole different story. But right now our attention shifts to turn number 3, and the first of the qualifying events come on to the racetrack in the Lumac package, WTG Logistics event, a special tribute night for the limited late models. And to present to you the starting lineup for round number 1, here's my colleague and good friend, Bonza Tupa.
Starting on the pole from Barkhamsted, Connecticut in the 33 IMTI America 250 machine, it's Aiden Burrell Jr.
This guy's been so close this season but hasn't been able to pull it off. The rat on a machine, number 51, from Palmer, Massachusetts, it is Josh Wood.
Starting third from Fairfield, Connecticut in the Springfield Thunderbirds number 10, it's Wayne Corey Jr.
Here's a guy that's been there and done that in a very emotional victory at the start of the season. The Tom O'Sullivan and Sons welding car from Belchertown, Mass, car number 07, Chris Buffoni.
Starting fifth is the Casella Waste Mayday Oil number 87 machine from North Franklin, Connecticut, the live wire Chris Meyer.
And starting in the scratch spot is car number 9. That's the A6A Associates machine from Naugatuck, Connecticut. It is Bobby Stirk III. That is your starting lineup. The story is 8 laps, 5 cars to make the transfer among the handicap. On the starter's stand, looking the field over, Mike Helberg and his son are there studying the competition, and as the sun will be setting behind turn 1 and 2 very shortly, we take a look at the late models. What a great week we've had in this month of June, this past week, and the lights are dim from Whelen Engineering, First Name and Light Sirens and Safety Services.
One thing I noticed is Bobby Stirk III is not out there. So we have 5 cars out there on the track right now. They all qualify for the handicap. So how hard do you truly go in this heat race? You want to get a feel for your car, and the only way you can get a good feel for it is by driving 100%.
Here they come. The green flag comes out, and all of a sudden, car number 33 quickly moves to the front of the class, but it's short-lived because on the outside, he's on a tear. It is car number 51 for Josh Wood.
Wood completes the pass, takes the lead. Burrell has struggled firing off on these starts, trying to get the tires warmed up. He runs second while Corey and Buffoni battle for the third spot.
Meanwhile, Buffoni takes a different line to the top side of the racetrack. Right there with him, another feature event winner. Myers is there. He can't make the move. Buffoni is to the outside. Wayne Corey, last week a big contender. He's been right there, side by side, but the story is 4th and 5th.
Meyer on the inside, Buffoni on the outside. Wheel to wheel coming off the corner for that fourth position as they cross the stripe. 3 laps down, 5 to go. Meyer has the preferred lane, but having a bit of a tough time keeping that car locked on the bottom. He's losing some momentum, but Buffoni gets a little bit crossways coming off of 2, allowing Meyer to complete the pass.
Buffoni just didn't have enough giddy up coming off the turn. He tries to gather it back. Meanwhile, that works to the advantage of Chris Myers. These 2 race cars, Bonza, they came off the jig and they were built in order, both by BFR, right now equal on the racetrack, and it appears that Myers is sneaking in to that 4th position.
Tell you what, Buffoni was able to go into the corner harder on the outside as if Meyer didn't feel too secure about his machine under braking, but Meyer does take the 4th spot. Buffoni falls back to 5th. We're halfway in this one, 4 down, 4 to go. It's Josh Wood leading by about 1.5 seconds over Aiden Burrell, who has a mirror full of Wayne Corey Jr.
Certainly does, and Corey is coming on strong. And, of course, a car that represents the 250th anniversary of the United States is setting in second. Aiden Burrell, professional, good-looking team and car. They're holding on to second as we speak. Things start to settle in. Margin between second and third and 4th about the same, and same can be said from 4th and 5th.
Everybody spaced out pretty evenly from 2nd to 5th, about 3 car lengths between each car. Got to give a shout out to Aiden Burrell Jr. This is a brand new car last year, one of the nicest looking cars in the pits. But Burrell has really showed improvement season after season. I know Daryl Keene had some nice things to say about Burrell in the pits when I talked to him earlier. You're seeing Burrell log more laps, gain more experience, and keep up with these top runners. In fact, he's pulling away from Wayne Corey Jr. right now.
Certainly is. He has matured so much, and I think that's a key word in describing what he has done this season. Josh Wood in a zone of his own at the front of the field. Clock is ticking. Time is running out. Wood was a dominant driver in the limited late models, won championships. Also strong in the streets. He sets his sights on the black and white. Josh Wood will take down the win. Aiden Burrell will finish in second. Wayne Corey will finish in the 3rd position. Chris Myers for 4th, and Chris Buffoni will finish in 5. Unfortunately, Bobby Sturck was not able to make it out in this qualifying event. Round number 2 coming up next. Here's Bonza with the starting lineup.
Starting on the pole for our 2nd and final late model heat race is a 2-time late model champion from Ellington, Connecticut in the Levine Law number 23. It's Kevin Gambacorta.
Defending champion, driving the Tavern on the Tracks car from Berlin, Connecticut, car number 39, Paul Verrecchio Jr.
Next up is another champion, a 4-time champion in the late models from Granby, Massachusetts in the Meadows Motor Cars number 97. It's Adam Gray.
Then we go to car number 79. He'll start 4th on the grid, driving the Jarmark Farms Botticello Incorporated car. Another feature event winner from Enfield, Connecticut, Daryl Keene.
And it's last week's winner in the Randy's Trucking H&B sighting number 19 from Wellington, Connecticut, starting 5th, Michael Bennett.
And in the 6th starting spot, it will be the Roger Hunt prepared car from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Damon Pilardi, car 26. There you have it. 6 cars are scheduled to start. Last week's feature event winner, Michael Bennett, will be starting in the back of this qualifying event. So we've had a lot of different winners in the class this year, and that is no surprise because we know how difficult the competition is. You know, there's an old saying, small but mighty. The car count is small, but it is mighty in performance.
Well, you ask any driver in the pits in the late models, they'll tell you, even with as many cars as we have, 85% of them are within a 10th or 2 at most. I was talking to Chris Meyer earlier today, and he felt like he wasn't that far off last week, maybe a 0.5 to a 10th, but that's a lot in this field because you're so close. So track position becomes very crucial, and so do the starts and restarts because that is your chance to gain as many spots as possible before they start settling in.
You know, also we might add the majority of the cars in this division are built by one manufacturer's line. It is called BFR. So they built, so that means these cars are pretty equal right out of the box. The fine tuning is the difference between 1st and 2nd or second and last.
And we talked about brand new BFR cars with Buffoni and Meyer. Michael Bennett, last week's winner, also in a brand new BFR car. Green flag is out in our final late model heat. Gambacorta leads the way and has the top spot coming off of turn 2, followed by Adam Gray. Verrecchio falls back to third, looking for a hole to the inside, while Bennett is side by side with Keene.
Well, Bennett tries to make his magic to the inside. Verrecchio slams the door. There's no room this time. He comes off turn number 4. Meanwhile, it is Daryl Keene in that 5th spot. 5 is important. But as they come off the turn, down the back straightaway, Kevin Gambacorta clicked off the quickest lap in lap number 1. Will it stick? Adam Gray is coming. Gambacorta is a strong contender as they come back to the stripe.
You can see Gray's car roll the center better than Gambacorta. The question is for Gambacorta, can he get better drive off? He slides up a little bit in 1 and 2. You can see Gray's car stay hooked to that white line. In fact, those two made a little contact coming off the corner. Gray has position. Gambacorta backs off. Gray takes the lead.
There's no question about it. Gambacorta is as smart as Gray behind the wheel of a race car. He just let him go, understanding the difference and what it'll mean in the starting lineup for the feature event. He doesn't want to use up those tires. He doesn't want to wear out that equipment. Second is still good. Meanwhile, Verrecchio, the defending champ, is chomping at the bit. He's trying to move in to apply the pressure to Gambacorta. Bit further back, here comes Keene.
Keene trying to take a look inside. He peeks the nose out and gets to the underside of Bennett going into turn 1. He completes the pass. Bennett just lets him have it and gets in line. So everybody's single file. Adam Gray with the lead in. He wasn't the most enthused about his car during practice. He thought he was fighting that car pretty good, getting it to rotate. And we're only 4 laps into this heat, but that 97 is cutting through the turns pretty good as of now.
Well, he's a big guy. If anybody can manhandle and wrestle an automobile, it would have to be Adam Gray. Out in front and pulling away, he is in the lead by 5.26. Pretty commanding lead. But, you know, Kevin Gambacorta is a pro. He's not using up his race car. He's doing his best to just maintain and hold on to second.
We talk about different winners. We've had 4 different winners in the last 4 late model features. The only repeat winner this season is Adam Gray, but Gambacorta is still trying to join the wins list in 2026. He has a couple runner-up finishes, but he's looking for a little more to reach victory lane. He slowly closes in on Gray with the white flag out.
Final circuit, final half mile. Down into turn number 1, Adam Gray has looked racy. All of a sudden, Gambacorta says, I don't want position number 1 that bad. I'll settle in for second. That could be a very smart move. He saved his tires. He saved his equipment. Here they come. Checkered flag is out. Adam Gray will take down the victory. Kevin Gambacorta will finish in second. Paul Verrecchio will finish in third. Daryl Keene for the 4th spot, and Michael Bennett, the final transfer in the handicap. Damon Pilardi will finish in 6th.
One thing with that top 3 right there, Gray, Gambacorta, and Verrecchio, they represent the last 5 late model championships.
Yes, they do.
Gray in 22, I should say last 4. Gray in 22, Gambacorta in 23 and 24, and then Verrecchio in 25. And oh, by the way, in 2021, that championship was won by Michael Bennett, who finished in the 5th spot.
So we know the story for them, but coming up next is our SK Light division. Tonight's SK Light division will feature 4 qualifying events. The number of cars in each one will be 8. The distance will be 8 laps, and 4 will be among the preferred starting spots. Here's Monza with the starting lineup.
Starting on the pole is the number 35 car. He is from the Ashford, Connecticut, the town of Ashford, Connecticut, in the Wellington Pizza Machine. It is Ben Morrison.
Outside row number 1, this young lady was very fast in practice today. The Mohawk Northeast car from Walcott, Connecticut, car 21, Sammy Anderson.
Inside the second row in the Wicked Power Sports number 1 from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, it is Bob Charland.
Let's go to position number 4, car number 91, the Landswork Fence John Geepool and Drywell car from North Haven, Connecticut. Car 91 is Jake Hines.
A winner a couple weeks ago, starts in 5th from New Hartford, Connecticut, in the Kalogiannis number 42, Stephen Kalogiannis.
In the 6th starting spot, this gentleman has really been running strong. The Secor Machine and Fabrication car from Swansea, New Hampshire, car number 36, Eddie Gamarlo.
Starting 7th in the Barkowski Racing number 17 from Manchester, Connecticut, it's Glenn Barkowski.
And one of the all-time veterans, the Rubo's Auto Center car from Waterbury, Simsbury, Connecticut. Car number 52 for Anthony Farino. 8 cars, 8 laps, 4 to make the transition.
And that's going to be key with so many SK Live Modifieds. We have 32 in all here today. So you really want to finish in the front half of the field to get yourself a better starting spot. You only have 20 laps to work with for the feature, so if you're starting deep in the field, you better hope that people in front of you have a problem, or you're just going to have a really hard time getting through the pack.
Well, TJ moves to the front of the starter stand, cross flags in hand. Field is going to double up. Ben Morrison and Sammy Anderson. Sammy hasn't had much luck at all. Mechanical problems have been the story here at Stafford. But tonight, in practice, she was a quick car in 2 rounds of practice. Bonza, that's not easy when you look at a field of 32 cars and to be at top of the board.
And with the amount of high caliber drivers in this division, Sammy Anderson has shown a lot of speed this year. Just needs to finish all the laps and not run into trouble. Get through this heat race, get a good starting spot, and go from there. So we'll see what happens as the green flag comes out.
Green, 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 and they're racing. Bottom of turn number 1, Ben Morrison on the inside. Sammy Anderson takes it in deep. The blue and yellow machine of Anderson digging in hard, but Morrison comes off the turn. They're even in turn 3.
Anderson working in that outside line. She's not afraid to drive it into the corner deep. It's just a matter of can you make it stick coming off the corner. Not quite that time by. They're still neck and neck down the front stretch, but Morrison has the edge over Anderson.
Morrison continues to run really strong on the bottom of the racetrack. Drifts up just a bit. Sammy Anderson refuses to give up the piece of real estate that she desperately wants. Here comes Charlene. Here comes Stephen Kalajanis. Kalajanis is coming to the front of the class. He is a very quick race car as well.
Kalajanis scored his first career win at Stafford a couple weeks ago. He gets past Charlene, who's having a tough time getting to the bottom. He got a little loose in the middle of 3 and 4 last time by and went up to almost the 3rd lane.
Meanwhile, Jake Hines is turning some heads here tonight. That shuffles Charlene back. Gramalo is right there as well with car 36. 6 cars, you need to be among the top 4. Hot spot of the racetrack is 4th. All of a sudden, keep your eyes on that 42. He is reeling out on Sammy Anderson. Charlene in that dogfight battle with Hines.
You can see Anderson get a little wide coming off of turn 4 as Hines and Charlene continue to go bar to bar for that final spot to transfer for the handicap. Charlene is holding strong up top, and Gamarlo behind them is looking for anywhere to go, but he can't do anything until the battle settles out, which it finally does. Charlene holds on for 4th.
Charlene dove to the inside, guards the spot now. Here comes the 91 of Hines. He'll take a peek. Charlene tries to make a crossover. It doesn't stick. 4th is the hot spot of the racetrack. This time, when they come back to the stripe, 6 of 8 are in the record books. 4th is where the action is off turn 4.
Charlene came across Hines' nose in turn 1, a little contact, but no harm, no foul. And Hines makes his way back to the inside of the 1 machine, trying to get that 4th spot. He couldn't make the move work last time by. This is the furthest ahead he has gotten, but still not able to shake Charlene off.
Charlene continues to dig and dig hard in the upper lane. White flag is out, no surrendering in that battle for 4th. We know where it's going to be and end up for 1, 2, and 3. But for 4th, a different page in the book of success in qualifying here at Stafford.
Who's going to qualify for the handicap? Hines leads Charlene out there in the final 2 turns. He has the preferred lane, needs to carry the momentum. Ben Morrison will win the heat. Sammy Anderson 2nd. Kalogianis 3rd. Hines will take 4th. And then it is Bob Charlene who will have to start outside the handicap, finishing 5th. Eddie Gamarlo 6th. Glenn Barkowski 7th, and then Anthony Farino, who didn't finish the heat, came down pit road midway through it, will round out the 8-car field.
So round number 1 will exit back to the paddock area. Round number 2 comes out next. Here's a young kid with a ton of talent. The Connecticut Collision Center, number 99, a graduate from Monday Night Karts. From Springfield, Massachusetts, it is Dylan Houghton.
Outside the front row from Enfield, Connecticut, in the Jim Ciappone family racing 75, it's Casey Bode.
3rd starter to the grid, the Pro Automotive Machine. Stu McCarthy's race car from Oxford, Massachusetts. Car 34 for Dalton McCarthy.
Starting 4th is the McKinney Construction 15 for Farmington, Connecticut's Amanda West.
Then we go to the 5th starter on the grid. This guy's a veteran. The River Valley Tree Experts car from Coventry, Connecticut. Car number 98, Norm Sears.
Outside of row 3 is the Dell's vinyl siding number 32 from Milford, Connecticut. It's Robert Bloxham III.
And car number 19 will be starting in the 7th spot. Excuse me? Yes, no, the 7th spot. This Bapco race chassis car from Stonington, Connecticut, John Burnell.
And rounding out the 8-car field is the JRB Customs number 38 from Enfield, Connecticut. It's Kyle Pinkham. Let's make our way down to the pits to meet one of our additional members of the broadcast team, Tim Prokoski. Tim, hello, and a happy Friday to you.
Hi, happy Friday indeed, and what a hot night here at the Speedway. You know, I had a chance to check in with the 19 for Bobby Sturck in the late model division, and they have got a transmission problem. They got a splayed transmission that they're working on right now. They do think that they're going to be able to get out for the feature, but it's just been a run of bad luck for this team. Last week they blew a motor. This week they got a transmission issue. These guys got to think something's going to turn around for them in the future, and they're really confident, working hard on getting this car ready.
Man, if they had no bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all. It's been a rough couple seasons for Sturck. Really, since they went to the late models, they've just had a plethora of mechanical problems, but they've also shown glimpses of hope with podium finishes throughout the last couple seasons. Hopefully they can find a little bit of positivity tonight with what has been a rough season.
Well, we know the facts, and the facts are that Kyle Rickey's in Pocono on assignment, but the car he nicknamed as a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup car is on the inside of the front row. Dylan Houghton digs in hard. Will he have enough? 4 cars already contending for the same airspace down in turn number 3.
McCarthy and West were pushing their respective cars in front of them going into turn 3. It's Houghton that has the advantage. He will lead the first lap, but Casey Boat stays strong in the second lane. Wheel to wheel, inches apart going into 1. Houghton's got the lead.
Meanwhile, Casey Vogue is right there, tries a different line. Taps to the back bumper of Dylan Houghton. That upsets the car, gives Dalton McCarthy the opportunity to take the high road. Here comes Casey Vogue, though. He's not giving up. Dalton is there, and Amanda West moves into the top 4.
Vogt wanted to cross over Houghton, but Houghton said no and threw quite the block on the 75, leading to some contact. Battle for 4th heats up. West had a bad exit off of 2, allowing Bloxham to close in on the 15's back bumper.
Meanwhile, off turn number 4, all of a sudden back up front, Casey Vogue trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack. Sees some daylight, the door is shut. Dylan Houghton holds on. Here comes Bloxham again, trying to get a run on that very important position 4 that Amanda West needs if she's going to start up front here tonight.
West having a tough time staying on that white line. You can see her push up a lane in the center of the corner, allowing Bloxham to close in as we're halfway through this. Whoa! Houghton gets a tap from Vogt going into turn 1, saves it. It hurts Vogt's momentum, and McCarthy moves through the second spot.
They continue to play as they bing and bong off each other, working their magic. Meanwhile, Amanda West tries to sneak back in. It is Dalton McCarthy looking racy. He is all over the back bumper, but Dylan Houghton continues to hold on. Meanwhile, second breath, here he comes. Casey Vogt to the outside of Dalton McCarthy in turn 3.
Yeah, this is a lot of defensive driving in this heat. We've seen it from Houghton, and we're seeing it from McCarthy. He is not opening the bottom for Vogt in the battle for second. So Vogt says, I'll take the long way around, and he's making it work so far, but he backs off and pulls right to the back bumper of McCarthy.
Meanwhile, look what's happening for 4th. 4th is a spot that is necessary if you're going to be in the preferred starting spot and the handicap. Here comes Bloxham. Amanda West stuck in the outside lane. White flag is out. Amanda West pulls back in, holds on to 4th. Here they come. Final 2 turns up ahead. 4 cars are necessary to start up front.
Bloxham pushed up coming off of 2 and lost some time, and that's all Amanda West needs to hold on to that 4th spot. Dylan Houghton will win the heat. Dalton McCarthy second, Casey Vogt third. Amanda West, the final car to transfer for the handicap. Robert Bloxham the third will have some work to do. He finished 5th. Norm Sears 6th, Kyle Pinkham 7th, and then John Burnell rounds out the 8-car field.
Well, you've witnessed 2 of 4 qualifying rounds. These are the SK lights, and coming up next is round number 3. Same story, 8 laps of distance, 4 cars to transfer, and car number 87 will be starting at the point, the Wicked Power Sports machine. From East Hartford, Connecticut, Joey Farino.
Starting second is the Arcari Motor Sales number 55 for Summers, Connecticut's Paul Arcari.
Here's an outstanding rookie, the PJ Ladola Electrical Contractors machine from Barkhamsted, Connecticut, car 41, Travis Downey.
Lined up next to him him in fourth is a former champion from Griswold, Connecticut in the Pro Systems Integration, number 18, Tyler Berry.
Starting in the fifth spot, keep your eyes on him. The Yukon-sponsored car from Seymour, Connecticut, car number 10, Nick Anglace.
In the sixth spot from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, in the Rampart Diggs, number 4, Rob Peterson.
Seventh starting spot goes to the Jones Racing Products, number 14. That, of course, from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, it is Chad Jones.
And rounding out the 8-car field is from New Hartford, Connecticut, in the RHB Construction, number 24, Ava Lombardo.
Well, the story is 8 cars, 8 laps, 4 cars to be among the preferred starting spots. 1 round is left following the conclusion of this one. Then we move on to qualifying for a street stock division. Tonight's night brought to you by Lumac Package Store and WTD Logistics. It's a special night for the limited late models. 30 laps the distance, and there's some twists and turns. In that, we'll talk about it a little bit later.
As the field crosses over for their third of 4 SK Light Modified heats, you look at the guy starting on the pole, Joey Farino, a former limited late model champion, 17 SK Light wins, but that's a guy who has had very little fortune in 2026. Since the duel in the season opener, just looking for a clean night at this point. He feels like he can still compete up there at the front, just needs to complete all the laps and avoid trouble, and some of that trouble has come in the heat race itself.
And he is truly one of the good guys. He helps other competitors out. He rents race cars, works on other teams, but right now he's at the point in this one. Turn number 2, side by side up front. Paul Akari trying to dig in the outside lane. Not enough muscle. Tap to the bumper. Here comes Tyler Berry, a former champion, and the rookie, Downey, right there with him.
2x2 coming off of 4. Really close coming off the corner. Farino was tugging that car to the left. Got a little loose, lost his momentum. Gets sideways again after contact with Berry. Does a half spin. Straightens the car back out as the field makes their way down the backstretch. Farino keeps going and we stay green.
Farino makes the move and continues to keep going. Meanwhile, off turn number 4, it is Downey, Travis Downey, holding on to the final transfer spot. Back up front, kicking up some dirt, going, gone. Tyler Berry's fastest car in the racetrack. Paul Akari gets shuffled to second. Here comes Nick Anglace. The Yukon Husky is howling back in third.
And Anglace told me the car was not 100% in practice today. He's going to dive to the inside and go for a turn 1 bottom shot, but Arcari slams the door going into the corner. So they come off of 2, single file. Anglace runs in third, and Travis Downey has been given a drive-through penalty for the contact in turn 1, it sounds like, with Farino.
So that's going to bump up Chad Jones, I believe. That is unofficial with car number 14 because he is being shown in the 5th position. Down the back straightaway, Anglace gives a tap to the back bumper. Can't make the move. Paul Akari is there. They come off turn number 4. Working his magic to the bottom. Akari goes up the hill. And guess what? Nick Anglace is up to second.
Travis Downey comes down to serve his drive-through penalty, but it looks like he's just going to park it on pit road, and he'll have a lot of work to do starting at the back of the 20-lap feature tonight. Tyler Berry has the lead. I mentioned Anglace's car was not 100% during practice. He was dealing with issues regarding power steering, the steering rack, and transmission. So the car was not 100%. Looks like Downey is going to make his way back on track. So he's a couple laps down, if not just 1 lap down. But he'll still have a lot of work to do as the white flag waves for Tyler Berry.
Well, one circuit will tell the story. And even though his car was not spot on, he is running a strong second and has been the quickest car in the last 3 laps. Tyler Berry, former champion. Highlighter yellow is the color of the car. Checkered flag is out. And Tyler Berry will take down the victory. Nick Anglace will finish in second. Good run for Paul Akari to finish in third. Chad Jones will finish in 4th. Rob Peterson will finish in the 5th spot. Ava Lombardo for 6th. Joey Farino for 7th. And Travis Downey to finish in 8th.
You know what Anglace did tell me on top of that, though, Ben? Despite the issues they had, they felt like they could still run in the top 5. So we'll see what Anglace can do heading into the 20-lap feature tonight, because he finished second, but he was quickly closing in on Barry. But at the same time, Barry could have been saving his stuff for the feature.
You know, that's the way and the strategy has been. We saw that already in the late models tonight. Fourth and final round for the SK Light Division. Car number 57 will be at the point. That's the young driver of the A-Plus Fire Protection car from Stafford Springs, Connecticut. It is Austin Goff.
Outside of the first row from Westbrook, Connecticut, in the Skate Kit Property Management number 09, it's Cassandra Cole.
Then in position number 3, SAV Tree Experts car from Norwich, Connecticut. Car 51 for Matt Brewer.
Starting fourth is last week's winner in the Carrera Excavation Incorporated number 64. It's Coventry, Connecticut's Jason Finkbein.
This guy's got more wins than anyone, and he's sizzling hot in 2026. The Vernon Chevrolet machine, car number 29 from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Chris Matthews.
Then it's the number 8, starting in sixth, sponsored by IDD, Industrial Diesel and Driveline from Wellington, Connecticut, Aiden DeGata.
In the 7th starting spot, the Bowles Motors car from Enfield, Connecticut, car number 76, Connor Christmas.
And rounding out the 8-car field is the Fueler, the auction app for heating oil, number 50 from Windsor, Connecticut, Peter Bennett, who is not out there. And talking to him earlier today, Ben, they were having mechanical problems.
Yes, unfortunately.
And they weren't sure if they could at least start the feature tonight and get some laps in and see what happens, but it looks like they will not be out there for the heat race, just to be safe with the car.
You know, they are such a good team, home-based team. It's a family operation with family and friends, and they have been up front all season long, and tonight, heartbreaker for them, but maybe their strategy will pay off. But right now, final round for the SK Light Division. On deck, backstage, the Street Stocks will be our next division of choice. And here comes the green. Goff gets a nice run for it. Cassandra Cole, in our preview at the start of the show, said she wants a win badly. Nice crossover. Cassandra Cole slingshots out in front. She's the brand new leader. Finkbein, last week's big winner, he's working his way, but all of a sudden he drops back to fifth.
He was stuck behind Goff on the outside. He finds his way to the bottom while Goff is side by side with Matthews for that third spot. Matthews has it. Battle for the lead tightens up. Cole took the top spot last lap. Now Brewer closes in on the back bumper of the 09.
Well, that's been happening. All of a sudden, Jason Finkbein moves into that fourth position. That's exactly where he needs to be. Back up front, Chris Matthews, looking like a rocket, running in the tire tracks of the Matt Brewer machine. Brewer tries to shake him off, can't do it. Matthews is there, tries to make the inside groove work. Will it stick, Bonzo, off turn 4?
Oh, it's stuck, and if that car can ride that white line, straddle the white line, and keep the left sides on the apron, he's going to be one to reckon with, like he has been all season long. He has not finished outside the podium up to this point. He's still side by side with Brewer for second spot, but he's far enough ahead, he'll complete the pass.
No question about it. Meanwhile, Jason Finkbein, last week's winner, just clicked off the quickest lap in this qualifying event. Finkbein is in the fourth spot. Will he settle there, or will he apply the pressure to Matt Brewer? I think he's going to go for it. Down in turn number 3, all of a sudden Brewer can feel the heat, and the heat is on. Finkbein looks low off turn 4.
Finkbein kept this car locked to that white line. Brewer could not. Washed up the track, opened the door, and Finkbein's going to make his way through. He kicks up some dirt going into 1. We've seen a few drivers do that tonight, trying to use as much asphalt as possible to shortcut their entry, but Finkbein did not have to drive off to complete the pass.
Well, that's been happening back up front. We're down to the final 2. All of a sudden, Matthews is the quick guy. He's quick like the Energizer Bunny. He's running in second. Cassandra Cole fights him off. Back in third, guess who? It is Jason Finkbein. Finkbein showing it's no fluke. He might have snuck in the win last week, but he is truly strong here at Stafford.
And Brewer cannot settle in because Connor Christmas is only 1 car length behind him as the white flag comes out. Matthews takes the look to the bottom in turn 1, doesn't commit to a move as he chases after Cassandra Cole for the lead with 2 turns to go.
There's no question about it. Final 2 circuits, here they come. Cassandra Cole leaves the door open. Drag race off turn number 4. It is Cassandra Cole to take down the impressive victory. Chris Matthews to finish in second. Good run for Jason Finkbein for third. Matt Brewer for fourth. Those are the handicap positions. Just out of the handicap, good run for Connor Christmas in fifth. It is Aiden Nagata in sixth, and Austin Goff to round out the top 7. Full body competition comes out next, and that will be the street stock division. 2 qualifying events for them, 5 circuits, 5 cars to transfer among those positions.
And starting on the pole for the first street stock heat, in the number 63 Ace Hardware of Litchfield machine is Goshen, Connecticut's Roger Mayhew.
Here's a veteran, but he moves to Stafford for 2026. Driving the Ballard Trucking Center, number 19. From Sutton, Massachusetts, it is Scott Sundin.
Then it's the Belchertown, Massachusetts driver starting in third in the Roy's Auto Service, number 69, Bill Cody.
For starting position, he too was in the opening preview. The Northeast Truck and Off-Road car from Griswold, Connecticut, always strong. Car 81, Brett Gleason.
Starting in the 5th spot is the 55 from Southampton, Massachusetts, a winner earlier this year in the SK Property Maintenance IMC manufacturing car, Brandon Warren.
And then we go to starting position number 6, the Fueler, the auction app for heating oil, number 99 from Somers, Connecticut, Isabella Mancella.
Inside the 4th row is a Stafford Springs native in the Wellington Pizza, number 44, Rob Sears.
And starting scratch, the Rico's Pizza, LaJoy's Auto Wrecking car. From Stamford, Connecticut, it's a tribute car to Beaver Dragon and Bobby Dragon, the 71 of Marvin Minkler.
Hey, by the way, Ben, I got a text from Nick Inglace himself. Said the car is still not 100%. But look what happened in the heat. He still got second.
He could have fooled us.
So he still has a lot of confidence that he can contend tonight. And obviously he was in contention for the win last week when we had some last turn dramatics between him and Bloxham that resulted in Finkbein getting the checkered flag. But yeah, Inglace's car still needs some help, but doesn't deter the fact that he still thinks he can run up front.
There's a lot of other competitors in that division who disagree with that, but that's beside the point. Want to give a shout out. We are blessed, both Bonza and myself, to have fans, competitors chime in with us. And one of the great broadcast announcers in the state of Vermont is Aaron Maynard. And Aaron Maynard has just said hello to us, and we wish him the best. He's a outstanding announcer at Thunder Road and other great facilities there. Here we go, side by side already for second. And there's a guy who hasn't had much luck in that pack of cars, and that is Bill Cody with that number 69 car.
He's kind of boxed in behind Mayhew and Gleason. Mayhew did not get a good start. Scott Sundin took the lead from the outside. As a result, as they complete the second lap of the heat, or I should say the first lap of the heat, 4 laps to go. It's a 5-lap heat race for the street stocks. It's Sundin with the lead, Mayhew in second, then Cody door-to-door with the 81 of Gleason for third. And mind you, the top 5 finishers from each heat race qualify for the handicap.
They certainly do, and moved into the top 5. Brandon Warren, he is tapping on the back bumper as they come off the turn. Just out of the top 5, in 6th is Isabella Mancella. She has been very strong, but hasn't had any luck at all this season. Single file is the story. 2 of 5 into the record books. 5 is the magic number, and that's held down by Brandon Warren. Here they come, 2 laps to go.
Sundin has the lead, but he got into one a little too hot last time by and got a little loose as a result, but he still holds the lead. Mayhew playing protective right now, trying to hold on to that second spot. Gleason took a look. Mayhew covered the lane for the moment. Gleason has to settle in third for the moment.
They hit down into turn number 3. Nobody stepping out of line without a partner here. Here they come off turn number 4. It is the white flag. 1 lap to go. 5 is where you need to be. Bill Cody in 4th on that last circuit, Bonza. He was the quickest car.
He still has some work to do if he wants to get to Gleason. The gap is about 3 car lengths from Gleason in third back to Cody in 4th. But Cody is in a safe spot to qualify for the handicap as the field comes off of turn number 4. Scott Sundin had that one mistake in turn 1 but hasn't looked back. He will take down the win in the first street stock heat. Roger Mayhew finished second, a good run for him. Brent Gleason in third, Bill Cody 4th, Brandon Warren the final car to qualify for the handicap in 5th. Then Isabella Mancella, Marvin Minkler, and Rob Sears cars to round out the field.
So here comes round number 2, and car number 12 will be starting at the point. The Evans Carpentry Services machine from Uncasville, Connecticut. It is P.J. Evans.
Starting second from Madison, Connecticut in the Tea Kettle Restaurant of Old Saybrook machine, number 58, David Chasko.
Here's a kid that's been so strong and independent. The Universal Drive Shaft machine from Ellington, Connecticut, car number 32, Colton Gambacorta.
Outside the second row is the Larrabee's Landscaping, number 49 for Summers, Connecticut's Jason Raymond.
In the 5th starting spot, it is car number 13, Charlie's Towing, Diamond Ledge, Heating and Cooling from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Matt Martell.
Starting in the 6th spot, the point leader, 4-time winner this season in just 6 races from Danielson, Connecticut, it is Ryan Waterman.
Car number 51 will pick up at the rear of the field. That's the Lingley family. Congratulations, Carmen. Number 51 from Enfield, Connecticut, Garrett Pease.
Good to see Garrett Pease back at the track. He's been competing in the street stocks for the last couple years.
Yes, he
and
has.
Carmen, who is graduating and I guess moving down south to do bigger and better things. So exciting times for the 51 team as Garrett Pease had a lot of fame last year for his wild ride that he took in turn 4 down the mini mile where he weight shifted so hard. The car did one perfect flip and everybody was talking about it for a week. Hopefully we don't have to talk about that happening again, but Pease is really excited to be back on the track and it's been a while, so he's got some rust to shake off.
Sure does, but he is a good guy, and of course, like we said, he is going to be a factor, hopefully, in tonight's event. Here they come, field being told to cross over and double up. P.J. Evans in that 12 car, that car has been very, very strong. It has been right up front of the competition. David Chiasco with that number 58. Same can be said for him. They just haven't been able to get those brakes to be able to pull it all off. Once again, lights are off on the pace car. We're ready, heading down into turn number 3. As the pace car pulls away, here's Monzatufa with the call.
Got 7 street stocks and the top 5 qualify for the handicap. Pace car pulls off. It'll be P.J. Evans leading the way, the winner of the 30-lap feature last year. That's his only win at Stafford, but it's the biggest street stock race of the year. He gets a good jump, has the lead going into 1. Gambacorta looks to follow suit.
Gambacorta right on the back bumper, but P.J. Evans comes off the turn like a rocket. Down the other end of the playing field, Gambacorta sees some daylight, can't do it. Meanwhile, here comes Jason Raymond. Raymond is on a tear. He'll move in, take over the 3rd spot, and no one can question the credentials of Ryan Waterman. Waterman is working his magic as usual among the top 4.
From 6th to 4th in the first lap, and the top 3 in front of him bunched nose to tail. Gambacorta took a look to the bottom in turn 1, does it again in turn 3. Not much room to work with. Evans doesn't give him much space coming off of 4, but they remain side by side for the lead.
Colton moves to the inside, great move. Colton Gambacorta muscles his way to the inside. Just like Dad, he learned his lessons well. He'll move in, take over the lead. And who will be with him? Jason Raymond. The color green like money is looking for the money in 2nd. They swing to the right and to the left, side by side, down in 1.
Raymond on the bottom lane. Evans top side going into the first corner. Raymond's car kicks out a little bit under braking in turn 1. Able to keep the car underneath him, completes the pass, moves up to 2nd, and Waterman's just been hugging the back bumper of Raymond's car, trying to follow through and take 3rd, which he does.
Waterman is amazing in the street stock division wherever he runs, whenever he runs. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. He's setting back in 3rd. Meanwhile, Jason Raymond not going to give up the real estate without a fight. Raymond gets loose off turn number 2, down in turn 3. Side by side and wheel to wheel for 2nd.
Doesn't matter if it's a heat race or a feature. Waterman's going to give it 100%. Raymond gets loose coming off of 4, hangs on to it as Colton Gambacorta takes down the heat race win. Ryan Waterman finishes 2nd, followed by Jason Raymond, P.J. Evans, and David Chasko. That's the 5 that will qualify for the handicap, while Garrett Pease finishes 6th. Matt Martell backed off at the checkered flag. He will round out the 7-car field to close out our street stock heats, which means we move on to our big event tonight, It is the Lumax Package Store WTD Logistics Limited Late Model 30, and they're getting ready for their heat races.
They sure are. There'll be 2 qualifying rounds, and during those 2 qualifying events, we will be taking 7 cars for the handicap. 8 laps is the distance. We've got also some special news for some extra money. And let's talk about that. Is the cars not quite ready to come onto the racetrack?
So basically, the highest qualifier who elects to start in the rear for the 30-lap feature tonight is eligible to win a $500 bonus from USNE Power if they win after starting last. This division's really tight.
It is really tough.
It is a tall task to do that. We'll see which driver has the temerity to try and pull that feat off.
There are some competitors that have already been talking about it in the paddock area. But right now, car number 8 will be starting in the front row, the Black Widow Motorsports car from Union, Connecticut for Tyler Secor.
Starting second is the number 9, scored a top 5 last week. In the Joe's Fish Shack number 9 machine from Canton, Connecticut, it's Connor Jensick.
Row number 2, Dunning Industries, number 22. Feature event winner from New Hartford, Connecticut, Gary Patnode.
Then it's our point leader in the LNS equipment number 6 from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, Jeremy Lavoie.
This guy was fast in practice. The Roots Auto Repair, number 80 from Old Saybrook, Connecticut, Norman Root III.
Starting in the 6th spot is the 67 from Uncasville, Connecticut, Northern Maine Firewood gives us Aaron Plemons.
7th starting spot, Utility Services of New England. Number 1 for a former champ from Rocky Hill, Connecticut, Matt Clemens.
Starting 8th is our only repeat winner in this division so far from Summers, Connecticut. Tri-State Equipment Repair gives us the 55 of Jason Lafayette.
Let's take a look at the final row. Daddy O'Honey brings us car number 42 from Northford, Connecticut, Dana Ray.
And rounding out the 10-car field coming up from Troutman, North Carolina, in the Card Gorilla number 17, Ari Jensick.
Here we go. Off turn number 4, staring them down. Snap of the wrist, green is out, and we are racing.
And Connor Jensick gets a great start. He's going to clear the field from the outside going into the first corner while they're 2x2 behind him. Tyler Secor on the inside pushes up the track, and here comes Patno 3 wide to the bottom.
Patno dives to the inside. With him comes another competitor. That is Plemons. Plemons moves into the 3rd spot. Lavoie is cautious but smart. He'll gain forward momentum. Root is there. Plemons dives it in deep, forcing Lavoie up the hill. Here comes Root. Here comes Clement. 4 cars contending for 3rd.
6 to 3rd and 1 lap for Plemons, but Lavoie is hanging tough on the outside line, which is really tough in this division. But Plemons is clear for 3rd. Root tries to follow the 67. He's door-to-door with Lavoie for 4th.
Meanwhile, no one knows what is going to happen as those 3 cars continue to bing and bang off turn number 2. Here comes Clement. Just as Root took the 4th spot, Clement says he wants it. Lavoie changes his line. He'll try to tuck it in right there on the bottom of the racetrack, and right there with him is a strong opponent in Jason Lafayette.
Lafayette let Lavoie in line, so the 6 was able to get to the bottom, and when Root slid up the track, Matt Clement came through. So did Lavoie. Lafayette might try and do the same. He does have the 7th and final spot for the handicap, and he's got about 5 car lengths back to Tyler Secor, so he's got a good cushion.
Halfway down, halfway to go. Clement continues to motor to the back bumper of Aaron Plemons. Meanwhile, Plemons drifts up just a tiny bit, and that gave Clement the opportunity to see daylight. He'll test the waters again. There, but no good. All of a sudden, Plemons shuts the door. Matt Clement's the fastest guy on the racetrack.
I think Clement gave Plemons a couple taps in turns 3 and 4, trying to make a move. He takes a look down the apron. Plemons washed up a bit, but was able to cut that car back to the bottom, and they're both closing in on the front too, because Pat Notice tried for a couple laps to get by Connor Jensick.
Here they come off turn number 4. Twirling 2s are in the air. They come back to the line. 1 mile left in the competition here. Meanwhile, Patno dives to the inside, thinks twice of it. Connor Jensick is the leader still. Patno is all over his back bumper. Plemons is there, so is Clement.
Tight quarter as Patno almost got into the back of Connor Jensick and then lost his momentum coming off of 2, allowing Plemons to pounce. He's on the inside of Patno for 2nd with the white flag up.
Patno gets stuck in the upper lane. Here comes Clement. Clement moves into third. Now he's going to try to go for fourth. Here comes Lavoie. All of a sudden, Jeremy Lavoie brings his A game forward. He'll move into the top 4. Back off turn number 4. Here comes the checker, and it is Connor Jensick. Back in qualifying winning form. Aaron Plemons to finish in second. Finishing in the third spot is Matt Clement. Jeremy Lavoie to finish in 4. Gary Patno for 5. Jason Lafayette for 6. Norm Root to finish in 7. Tyler Secor for 8. Ori Jensick for 9th. And Dana Ray to finish among the top 10.
That was quite the choo-choo train in the top 7 there, but everybody played it smart when you think big picture, because there was nothing big picture-wise to gain, because they were all qualified for the handicap.
And, of course, we're in the midst of qualifying. It's Lumac Package Store WTD Logistics Night, a special night to the limited late models running extra distance, 30 laps, and more money on the line. Round number 2, car number 23, the Westside Oil Machine from Canton, Connecticut. It is Devin Jensick.
Starting in the second spot is the 38 machine from Union, Connecticut. Joseph Nazo Restoration Company gives us Dave Secor Jr.
Row number 2 to the inside, CSB Communications. Car number 19 from Plainville, Connecticut, Adrian Paradis III.
On his flank is the Rob Russell chassis number 83 from Wellington, Connecticut, R.J. Surdell.
And the teammate of Surdell will be starting back in the 5th spot. Another former champion, Surdell Motorsports, number 88 from Palmer, Mass., Dwayne Provost.
Starting 6th from Three Rivers, Massachusetts, in the J.P. McCarthy & Sons WGF building number 24, Kyle Terrio.
Most recent feature event winners, Tribal Trucking Company, number 28. A former champion in this division from Tolland, Connecticut, car 28, Rich Hammond.
Then it's our defending champion from Woodbury, Connecticut, in the R&R General Repair Vandy Auto Parts, number 11, Travis Hydar.
And starting in the 9th spot, Century Tool Precision Machine Car. From Thompson, Connecticut, it is Tim Poulin. 9 cars looking for 7 spots of handicap in our feature event tonight, with extra distance, extra money added. Remember, the USNE Power bonus, but you got to start in the back in order to be eligible and win to take home the money. Here we go. Off turn number 4, getting ready to fire them up. They come to the stripe. Green flag is out.
And they're pretty even at the stripe. Both drivers went at the same time. It's Devin Jensick that has the preferred lane on the bottom. He comes out with the lead. Paradise might have made a little door contact with Secor coming off of turn 2, but they're still side by side for second.
Here they come. Meanwhile, Adrian Paradis works his magic. All of a sudden, R.J. Surdell tucks to the inside, moves in, pedal to the metal. Surdell is up to the 3rd spot. That bumps Dave Secor back to 4th. And then in 5th, it is Dwayne Provost.
Critically, Secor was able to get in line in front of Provost. Devin Jensick leads. A little domino effect between the top 3. Paradise had to check up a bit. Surdell had to check up a bit. Provost in 5th had to check up a bit as he got loose coming off of 4.
Hammond is playing, I think, a little bit of possum in this one. He knows he has to finish in 7th. He is currently in the 6th spot. And right behind him is Travis Hydar. Hydar was among the quick cars in practice. Top 3, bumper to bumper, nose to tail. No one is stepping out of line. 3 of 8 laps are gone.
Paradise was on the apron trying to see if he can get a nose under Devin Jensick, but he didn't have the grip to commit to it. He's on the tail of Jensick's car down the back straightaway, but stays in line. The top 3 bunched together, 2 car lanes back to Secor.
No question about it. Here they come. Bid for the lead, Adrian Paradis. He's had a tough season so far. About to change that. Paradis puts the challenger to challenge for the lead. Going, gone. Meanwhile, here comes R.J. Surdell. He's got plenty of giddy up tonight. He'll contend with Devin Jensick. And now Dave Secor wants a piece of the pie.
Jensick did the right thing. He backed off knowing there was a gap behind Surdell to get to the bottom, which he did. He runs in 3rd. Secor is in 4th. two-time limited late model champion Dwayne Provost in 5th, followed by another former champion in Hammond, and then the defending champion in Haidar.
7 is the magic number. Count them back. Here comes Hammond to the inside. He'll work his magic down underneath Dwayne Provost. He wants to be in the comfort zone because he knows Travis Haidar is coming. The 11 is the quick car on the racetrack, even though he's stuck in the mid-pack of cars, Bonza.
Yeah, it's just really tough with these cars because everyone is so close and bunched together. Your hope is the car in front slips up or there is somebody stuck on the outside line so you can follow through when the hole opens up. The white flag is out. It's Paradise that has the lead. The final spot to qualify for the handicap belongs to Dwayne Provost.
It's coming down to this. Meanwhile, out in front, gone, Adrian Paradis. R.J. Serdell in second. Look at the side-by-side bid. Back in the 6th position for 5th and 6th. Checkered flag is out. Adrian Paradis has got the victory. R.J. Serdell, solid 2nd. Devin Jensick for 3rd. Rich Hammond for 4th. Dave Secor for 5. Travis Haidar for 6. Dwayne Provost for 7. Kyle Therio will finish in 8th. And Tim Poulin will finish in 9th. Legendary driver and one of my heroes, Bob Polvereri, has just joined me at Broadcast Central. He gets younger and I get older. What is going on?
Ben, it's good to see you. I wouldn't come to Stafford without stopping up and saying hello.
I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Bob Polvereri, famed driver of the 7-Eleven and one of the most exciting historic features that we ever saw on Sizzler Weekend. This man had did it, and he is truly a great living legend. And he drove for my dad, so I have to throw that in there.
Of course, Bob Polvereri winning the iconic 1981 Spring Sizzler in a photo finish over Richie Evans. And that's the great thing about racing, Ben, appreciating greatness, the legends that have been here for a long time and have set the standard for the drivers of today.
It sure has, and it's so good to see him back here at the racetrack as we bring out the mighty SK Modifieds, the fastest division of the night. Car number 05 will be starting at the point, and that'll be Josh Morrison from Ashford, Connecticut in the Morrison construction car.
Outside the front rows, the Monaco Ford number 75 for Stafford, Connecticut's David Arud.
Keep your eyes on this kid, driving the GAF Roofing Riverhead Building Supply number 58. From Manorville, Long Island, New York, it is Riley O'Keefe. This kid is good.
He's been very impressive, and on his flank is a driver still looking for his first SK win at Stafford in the number 25 car from East Hampton, Connecticut, Anthony Flannery.
Row number 3 to the inside, car number 10. He's substituting for the legendary Dan Avery, the Avery Construction Corps car. The driver is Glenn Reen.
Then it's last week's winner in the Mr. Rooter Plumbing number 7 from Brantford, Connecticut, JP, John Pulio.
Let's take a look at row number 4, starting position number 7. This guy is the guy to watch. Feature event win, Chapman Apartments home from Ellington, Connecticut. It is Tyler Chapman.
And rounding out the 8-car field is the all-crate number 12 for Windsor, Connecticut's Art Caruso.
Here they come. Green flag is out. Power move. On the outside, David Arut. Comes off the turn in the upper groove. Moves out in front by inches. Here comes Anthony Flannery. Morrison is there. Throw a blanket over the top 8 cars.
Power move by Arut to make the top work and clear Morrison for the lead. Flannery tries to do the same as they're 2x2 from second on back. Morrison not getting off the corner well, allowing Flannery to push ahead with a push from Pulio.
Pulio, last week's feature event winner. He's in the middle of all of this mix with Riley O'Keefe. Meanwhile, power assist gives him a little push. Anthony Flannery has got to go. It's do or die time. He'll move into second. Here comes Pulio. Mr. Rooter moves to the inside. Pulio is up to second.
Nice sequence of events. Got by Morrison on the outside, sliced to the inside of Flannery to move into second spot after starting in 6th. Next in line, the leader, David Arut, and he quickly shuts that gap down to less than a car length.
Here they go, down the back straightaway. This time, when they come back to the stripe, 5 positions is where you need to be. Glenn Reen in Dan Avery's race car is in position number 5. Look at Chapman, the 41. Fourth to third, back up front. Pulio, quickest car in the racetrack. Hammer down. He'll go around David Arute. JP, Jonathan Pulio, is the leader in the Mr. Rooter 7.
Julio's car is really coming off the corner well. He was able to take that 7 down the apron off of turn 4 to get a wheel up on David Arute and take the lead. Now it's Tyler Chapman trying to do the same. He pulls up to Arute's back bumper as the top 5 are single file.
Less than a mile left in this qualifying event. Here they come. Nobody's been able to pull on a line. Will that be the story? Chapman is hungry. He doesn't race for second or third. He races to win, whether it's qualifying or a feature event. He's in the third spot. White flag is out. He's getting closer, Bonza. He's going to challenge in the final lap.
Final circuit in the first SK Modified heat. Tyler Chapman trying to close in on David Arute, but lost a little bit of time down the front straightaway, but he's in a secure spot. The top 5 qualify for the handicap. Green has that final spot as they make their way off of turn 4.
Here's the black and whites. Mike Helberg gives it to them, and JP, Jonathan Pulio, shows it was no fluke that he won 1 week ago. David Arute will finish in second. Great run for him. Tyler Chapman from scratch to third. Anthony Flannery for fourth. Glenn Reen to round out the handicap position of 5. Then it's Riley O'Keefe in 6th, Josh Morrison in 7th, and Artie Caruso to round out the top 8. Round 2 is coming on the racetrack next.
And we want to let all of you know that if you want to continue watching tonight's coverage of the action, tune in to Flow Racing. We thank all of you who were watching and enjoying the heat race action on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to see the rest of tonight's event, including the limited late model 30, go on over to Flow Racing.